Arteta moved Rice from the 6. He moved him from the 6 to the 8 for a reason, right? So that's why it's understandable for me to agree with you, Amaka, that Rice is also a world-class player. The fact that he was moved from a 6 to a 8 and from there he improved to show that he's actually a better attacking player than he is defensively, sorry.
Yeah, welcome to the Footweed Football Talk Show, the Rationale Take episode. Proudly sponsored by AM Jersey. If you want to get your jerseys, retro jerseys, club jerseys, you can go to amjersey.shop and use Footweed Family as the coupon code to browse and get discounts for any of your favorite jerseys. But I am not here alone. I got Chimamaka and Malik. What's up? How you guys doing? Perfect way to segue. So, two teams that I've not mentioned, Arsenal, Chelsea. Using this metric that we've started the conversations with, using the logic, hardly would we want to pick out any world-class player in Arsenal. So let's not even go there. Because the logic is consistency plus winning title. So I don't think any Arsenal player fits the world-class status. But there is one I can pick out. You know, there's this, hold on, there's this debate that has been going on. Rice Caicedo. I want to like sample you guys' opinion on this.
Please,
Caicedo.
I would answer you. But first, I'm not comparing both of them. Why? They play different roles. Rice is a world-class player. Caicedo, in all honesty, is a world-class. I'm saying so because of, one, the consistency that these both players have had, both for club and country. For now, we would say there are no trophies to back this statement up for now, but doesn't mean it wouldn't come in the nearest future. So for Caicedo and Rice, they are two different players, two very, very different players. So I wouldn't compare both. They don't play the same position. They don't play the same role.
Wouldn't you see them play in the same position?
Is that?
Don't they play in the same position?
No, they don't.
What do you think?
They don't. They don't play in the same position. Most people just make that mistake. They shouldn't compare both of them together. They play two different positions, but in the midfield. They play two, but in the midfield. So I don't see any comparisons. I don't see why we would be mentioning the both of them. These two guys are exceptional players. Rice is amazing. Caicedo, in his duties, is amazing. So I wouldn't compare the both of them. In fact, I would love to have both in my team. Truthfully. So I wouldn't. There's no comparison.
I think the reason there's a Rice and Caicedo argument for me personally is because, first of all, people always assume they play the same role, right? Now, the second thing now that we need to note is that Arteta moved Rice from the 6. He moved him from the 6 to the 8 for a reason, right? So that's why it's understandable for me to agree with you, Amaka, that Rice is also a world-class player. The fact that he was moved from a 6 to an 8 and from there he improved to show that he's actually a better attacking player than he is defensively. At the moment, we can tag both of them as world-class in a sense. Rice a lot less more than Caicedo for me personally. No shade. I'm not trying to be an Arsenal hater here. Like, this is just me being objective. The way Caicedo has impacted Chelsea's game in these past, I think, 2 years, because the peak that we started seeing from Caicedo just came in very recently. So the peak that we have been seeing from Caicedo recently has impacted Chelsea's team so much that when he gets an injury, you can feel it when Chelsea plays. I think you both can agree with me. Immediately Caicedo is not in that starting lineup, you know there's something wrong with that Chelsea team. Now, I can't say the same for Arsenal. So you can see this argument when we come in and bring in these world-class players, because that impact that I mentioned the other time, that's where this comes in. So Rice, the reason I said Rice a lot less, when you take Rice out of that team, Arsenal won't missing. Because there's somebody else as good.
I'll come in here. I'd like to come in here. Hey, please don't feel too happy because I'm trying to defend Arsenal in this regard. I'm only
we're just having an objective football conversation.
I'm only speaking because I love football and I watch football. So I'm talking from my own objective point of view. So in
Well,
Rice,
that's why we're here. Rational take.
exactly. In
We
Rice,
need your rational take on this.
that's why I said they both are world class players because they play in two different positions. Let's be frank with each other. Arsenal has functioned without Odegaard for a while,
Yes.
for a period
Due to injury.
due to injury.
Yes. Yes.
The job that Rice is doing present is what a world class player who was switched from number 6 all the way to number 18. So that's why I said I wouldn't want to compare Caicedo and Rice. Rice in his role, since he assumed that role. In fact, before that role, he has been exceptional. Taking him back to where he was playing 6, he was doing wonderfully well. He has been moved to 8. He's doing wonderfully well. Not knowing if Rice was not moved to number 8, nobody would know that Zubimendi can be this good playing at number 6. I don't know if you understand. It only means that it only means that Rice has a very good impact in the team. Why? Because he can play in multiple positions. So he's a player that will be missed if he's not on the pitch. So that's why I'm trying to cut you, man.
No, I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
He fits
But
into
have they
what
missed
role.
him?
Is that
I said I understand where you're coming from, but has Arsenal actually missed him when he's not playing?
you cannot miss Rice because he doesn't go on injuries. It's when he goes out on injuries you start talking about having to miss him. That guy is only. That is why
The guy is a
Arsenal-
machine.
That's
He's a
why
machine.
Arsenal has this consistency. If you're having a Rice who literally sits out only 2 or 3 matches in a season, bro, you've hit goals. And that is what Rice actually has given to them. Do you know if Rice is injured in that position, it will take Arsenal a while to be able to get that solidity back. I can tell you that.
That's not a lie. I wouldn't completely disagree.
And again, the beautiful thing is the fact that Arsenal has a midfielder that does not go on injury. When was the last time Arsenal actually had a midfielder that plays approximately 36 to 38 matches in a season consistently? So they hit the jackpot by having Rice there. So that guy is very good. I don't pray for injuries for him because the truth there is the moment Rice, I don't pray for injuries for him. But if Rice would go on any injury and you hear it is 1 month injury, that's not so bad. They might not lose, they might just have 4 draws. Is that bad?
You know, for the two, I think I'll toe the line of what you both have said. They're both instrumental to their clubs, respective clubs. And
Yes.
I was having a conversation with someone, and I said, and the conversation in the person's rebuttal to me was, if you look at Caicedo's tackling ability, he's at a higher percentage as compared to that of Rice. And he also said, if you look at Rice's attacking ability, it's higher than that of Caicedo. But there's a place where they strike the balance in terms of creating chances, goal scoring. Both of them score goals. Both of them are destroyers at a certain level where they want to do it. And
Can we add dictation of play as well, please? As you are having this conversation that you want to have, dictation of play.
Well, yeah, it's allowed. But there was something I pinned it.
Like I'm just saying, you should add it.
Yeah, okay.
When you are making.
But there was something I pinned it down to while I was trying to analyze it. Both clubs play similar style. Do they play similar style? No, I wouldn't say they play similar style.
No, not
because Arteta's style is more of conservative and attacking, right? But Maresca is also more of attacking. That's why the inconsistency is there with Chelsea. They can go on to beat Barcelona 3-0 today and go ahead to draw with a club like Karabakh, right, in the Champions League 3-3. Or also drop points against a lesser team in the EPL. We've seen that sample size happen. And I pinned that down to the style of play. Yes, a Caicedo will do more of tackles because Chelsea is set up a way whereby opponents can get at them. So Caicedo has to do the mop-up. But Arsenal is set up in such a way whereby for any team to get at them, it has to be very, very difficult. Hardly would you see Rice doing the mop-up. So attacking sense, Rice duty. I don't know if I'm making any sense here. I am not saying both players are not. I'm not saying Caicedo is not a good player. But where you see Caicedo function the more will be that of destroying, breaking plays, attacking plays. Because Chelsea are set up in such a way whereby opponents get at them, whereby through the middle, in the attacking third, from the midfield to the striking position, as compared to Arsenal. Hardly would you see Arsenal. And we've seen Arsenal this season. Hardly did they give any chance to any team to create anything, apart from the first game, which was against Manchester United. But after that, I think they entered into this realm of not giving anybody any chance. Does that make sense? Does this analysis make sense? That we will definitely see Caicedo do more of the defensive tackling as compared to Rice doing more of the defensive tackling because of the way both teams set up.
Well,
Yes, definitely,
you are saying, like what I said earlier, it's because they are playing two different roles. Now, you're talking about the abilities of Rice strength.
No, but Rice. Sorry. Let me just cut in there. Rice plays the double pivots with Zubimendi as compared to last season, where he was just playing as the 8. But there were times where we saw Partey couldn't play. Rice drops into the 6 to play, and we see the likes of Trossard or Merino or Havertz playing in that 8th position, right? But this season, I think Arteta tweaked it, right? And Rice plays more of that double pivots with Zubimendi. Is it that one is attacking or one is staying back? And we've seen time where Zubimendi attack, Rice stays back, or Zubimendi stays back, Rice attacks. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. So for me, I would say what Rice is doing now at this level, if just allow me to do this comparison. What Rice is doing at this level now is what Manchester United fans expected from Scott McTominay. I think that's a very fair comparison. He's a box-to-box kind of midfielder in the way he plays. From looking at it in an aesthetic point of view, because he bombs into the box. He's one of the last men to arrive into the box. So when the strikers and the attacking midfielders have already dragged their defenders into the box, he's one of the ones that is arriving late, that has that space to attack. You understand what I'm saying? And he's also the kind of player that when things hit the fan, he's also one of the first ones to get back in defense, which is where he said he's a destroyer as well. So it's not as if I don't agree. It's why when I was trying to give my points, I said Caicedo, I will rate him a bit higher than Rice. And it's also why I said that when you are making your points, you should add dictating play. For me, Rice doesn't dictate play. He impacts. We can agree on that, right? But dictating how the play is going to go, Caicedo does that a lot more. Apart from being a destroyer, Caicedo's passing rate is amazing. It's very, very amazing. We can compete when he gets the ball off somebody. His distribution of that ball after recovery, we can all agree, is very amazing. So he can dictate the play from the 6, right? The reason I'm saying I rate Caicedo higher than Rice is because in that 6th position, this is me comparing them in the same position now, because Rice has played the 6, right? So in the same position, when Rice plays the 6, he can't dictate play. He needs support. You get support in the sense that he needs a deep line playmaker in order to dish the ball out to, so that person will be the one to dictate the play. But Caicedo, as a player alone, as he is destroying the opponent's attack, he is proceeding to dictate where that ball is go to. So that's what I'm trying to break as a point.
Yeah, the analysis. Yeah,
exactly. Rice is a good player. He's an amazing player. He's world class in his position. I'm not doubting that, right? But I'm saying if you're bringing them down to the same position, which is at 6s, right? He doesn't dictate play. He's only a good destroyer, right? He's a good engine player.
Wouldn't that boils down to the way the team sets up? Like I said initially?
Not completely, right? Because even if the team should set up in a way that prevents Rice from dictating play, right? Once a player shows you exactly what he can do, right? It doesn't matter how you set up, you will allow him to do what he can do best. We can all agree there. Bruno Fernandes in Manchester United, really and truly, a lot of people have argued that he's not a 10. But because we know what he can do when he's dishing out long passes, that's why they are allowing him to play in that double midfield that we are currently playing. We can agree on that, right? It's the same thing with Rice. It doesn't matter how Arsenal is setting up currently. If he plays the 6, he needs a deep line playmaker beside him, because he would be the destroyer. He would not be the deep line playmaker. right? That's the difference between Caicedo and Rice. That's one of the major differences between them. Is the reason why I rate Caicedo higher than Rice, right? So we just need to just have that. I just wanted to have that in mind. It's one of the reasons why I kept on saying dictating play. When we enter Madrid's team of that year, Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric, everybody will look at Modric as the star player, as the heart of that midfield. But everyone needs to know that Kroos was the one dictating play.
Correct.
Team play. If he's not in that team, you would know. You would know, right? Casemiro was the destroyer. And what made Casemiro world class, right? What made him world class was immediately he got that ball off the attacking player. He knows to give it to Toni Kroos. And Toni Kroos will do what he knew how to do best. So in that sense, Rice as a 6, right? He's not as amazing as Caicedo. But Rice as an 8 and Caicedo as a 6, if you are trying to compare those two in that sense now, the two of them are world-class players. You don't even have an argument there. You understand? In those different positions. But the fact that Rice has played the 6, there is an argument to be made because at that same level, at that same position, goes so far ahead of Rice, right? I think we can all agree on that. That's just the point I wanted to make.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people that will hear you or will not agree with you. They wouldn't.
I mean, they would.
Chimamaka, you're muted. I don't know if you're on mute.
Yeah,
there will be a lot that will not.
Definitely, you definitely
Yeah, you're saying
will
something.
never agree with you on that. But I understand everything you've said, and I actually agree with you as well. That's the truth because you've made me understand. You've made us understand their attributes, their strengths in that their role. And from all you have said, I think I see that more in Caicedo than I see in Declan Rice. So I think I agree with you. I'm one of those people that agree with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but because we see more of, like I said, Caicedo. For me, the argument, I wouldn't say it's an argument. When I'm having these conversations, I'm always tilting towards the way the team sets up. If you put a Rice in the Chelsea squad, right, does it take Chelsea's game to another level?
Yes. Rice takes Rice in any team will take that team to another level.
Malik didn't want to argue. Malik didn't want to agree with
Right.
that.
See, now I'm not I'm not even looking at Rice. No longer looking at Rice as the Rice in Arsenal or I'll see him as the Rice in Arsenal. I'm not looking at Rice as Rice in coach, the Rice playing 6 or playing 8. I'm seeing him as
No, but we saw him at West Ham. We saw him at West Ham.
Was electric. A dilapidating West Ham had a star boy in Rice. And that star boy in Rice, in so-called West Ham, came to the all-knowing Arsenal and brought about solidity in Arsenal team. What are you talking about? So it only tells you that if Rice
one thing
if Rice plays in Real Madrid, he has an impact.
I wasn't even done. I wasn't even done with my analysis. If you take Rice into, I remember this game, the game we played at West Ham 3 seasons ago, where Arsenal were leading 2-0. Arsenal was leading 2-0, and West Ham came back, right, to equalize that game when Saka lost the penalty. The equalizing goal for West Ham, Rice made it happen. He nicked the ball off Partey. But his normal breaking attack and crashing the game, he broke that. He made that tackle. That last-ditch tackle on Partey, got the ball, initiated the pass, and West Ham scored. So my analysis was, if you take a Rice, put him in the Chelsea squad, he will thrive.
Yeah.
Regardless of how we want to say, he will. If you take a Caicedo,
like I said,
if you take a Caicedo and put him into the Arsenal squad, he thrives as well.
If you take Caicedo into an Arsenal squad, you will not buy Zubimendi.
But did you know that Arteta wanted Caicedo? Arteta wanted Caicedo.
Yes, but Arsenal are cheap.
No. Arteta wanted. No, it was due to the sporting director Arsenal had then, which was Edu. Edu was just a square peg in a round hole. He didn't know. We could see the difference Andrew Beta has made ever since he assumed the office of sporting director. If it was Andrew Beta that was at the helms of affairs at that time, we would have signed Caicedo. It's a no-brainer. But the point I'm trying to say is there's something top managers. Well, I wouldn't rate Arteta as a top manager yet because he has not taken the team over the line to win the big years. Pep wanted Rice. I don't know if you guys remember. Pep wanted to sign Rice.
Pep wanted Rice.
Arteta wanted to.
Thomas Tuchel wanted
Yeah.
Rice. Who did not want Rice?
Arteta wanted Caicedo. Now, what I'm saying is, imagine if Arteta had gotten a hand of Caicedo. You could imagine the monster he would have turned that guy to be. Monstrous. He would have turned him into something else. But the thing is, I agree with your take. There's no need for comparing these two, right? There's no need for comparing the two players. They are both world-class at their own level. And when they go into any team, they impact. I think it's an agreement, right?
Yeah, definitely.